Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, late last night I announced, hey, Princess changed their protocols and changed their testing and changed their vaccination rules. And then after that, late in the evening, Carnival changed theirs. So, you know what? Everybody seems to be different. Everybody has their own rules. So I'm going to break down each cruise line and tell you what you have to, if you can be vaccinated or not, and then I'm going to tell you what the testing requirements are for each cruise line so we can get through some of the confusion out there from the different cruise lines and the different announcements, because they're all over the place. So I'm going to keep my notes handy because it's confusing if you get into it. Now, the first part of the video, I'm going to talk about vaccinated guests and unvaccinated guests. Who can sail and who can't. And then the second part of the video, I'll go through all the testing requirements by cruise line as well. Now, first off, we have Celebrity Cruise Lines, who is welcoming back unvaccinated guests, but only from certain sailings and ports. Los Angeles, the EU, the UK, with the exception of Iceland, with a test. Now, keep in mind, if you're unvaccinated, every cruise line, I'll get that out right now, every cruise line requires you to test. But you can test 3 days, not 2 days, not 1 day, 3 days before you're sailing now, which is a change as well. So only from those areas you can change. So in North America, you got LA. For Celebrity Cruise Line, that's the only place unvaccinated guests can sail currently. That can change any day, but that's up right now. If we go with Royal Caribbean, they have the EU, LA, Galveston, and New Orleans. You can now sail with unvaccinated from those cruise ports. Keep in mind that some of the places, like the Cayman Islands, you may not be able to get off, but you still can get on the cruise, because they require vaccination in that area. So more cruise ports in North America you can do, 2 more, but it's not, Florida obviously is not there, etc., etc. So that's the vaccine. You don't need to be vaccinated for those 2 cruise lines from that area. Then we have Carnival and Princess. And they announced as of September 6, all cruises less than 16 nights. No vaccine required, just testing unless the country requires it. For instance, Canada, Greece, Bermuda, Australia. So any cruises, say going to Alaska, that are going into Canada or sailing from Canada, you do need to be vaccinated. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. That can change again, but hey, all U.S. cruises from Florida and everything, 16 nights, less than 16 nights, you no longer have to have a vaccine. You can now cruise, which is, you know, open up a lot of doors. In fact, when they made this announcement, I'm pretty sure the bookings are going to start climbing over the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that as well as the ships start to fill up. Norwegian Cruise Line, along with their partners, Oceania and Regent Seven Seas, announced that as of September 3rd, you no longer have to be vaccinated to cruise on their ships. Period. Of course, unless required by a country again, which means Australia, Canada, etc., you have to check your individual ship sailing to see what the requirements are going to be. However, pretty much most of their cruises, you no longer need to be vaccinated to get on that ship. So that's opening up an awful lot more options for those people who are unvaccinated at the time. And if you are a person who only wants to sail on a ship with fully vaccinated people, then you'd have to look at, say, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, sailing from a port that's not mentioned here, or Celebrity, any port but LA in North America, or head to Canada, because everyone has to be vaccinated for there. But that's the vaccination status for the big cruise lines out there. Now the testing. The testing, even for vaccinated people. If you're unvaccinated, everybody needs a test, no matter what. So Now we're going to talk about testing, but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Keeps you up to date with all these protocols that are changing by cruise line, by cruise port, by country. You just never know what's going to change. Plus, we'll talk about the new ships. We'll talk about the shore excursions. We'll talk about the onboard experience as well. And all things cruising, the cruise news doesn't cost a thing. Join the community and help the channel grow. That's all it really does. So when you hit the subscribe button, YouTube says, hey, more people like this. Let's share the videos and see if other people might enjoy this content as well. And again, really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who subscribed so far. Okay, testing requirements. Here we go. First one, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, MSC Cruises, Silver Sea Cruises. You only need to show a test less than 6 nights. So 6, 7, 8, 9, if you're vaccinated, you still need to show a test. 5 nights or less, you don't need to show any proof of test. You can just get on the ship. That's what their status is. But some other cruise lines have gone a little deeper. Oceania, NCL, Region 7 Seas, proof of vaccination is no longer needed to be provided pre-cruise testing. Not at all. Zip, zilch, nada. So if you don't want to show a test for any of your cruises, NCL is definitely a cruise line you might want to choose. Then we had yesterday's announcements from Princess Cruise Lines and Carnival Cruise Lines. No test required for vaccinated guests less than 16 nights. So 15 nights or less, you no longer need to take a test except where the country requires it, like Canada, Greece, Bermuda, and Australia. Are you seeing a trend there? I'm seeing a trend there. Yeah. So all of these changes and all of these announcements are pretty much coming in line with now the new recommendations coming out from the CDC. The CDC has made a lot of big changes recently, from dropping the overall watchdog effect of cruise lines to easing everybody's restrictions, from social distancing to other stuff that I'll probably do a video on that to let everybody know how that affects cruising as well and why these changes are coming into effect. I'm just hoping Canada at some point catches up to the CDC, because we still have masks on airlines, masks on cruise ships, masks everywhere, testing everywhere, 14-day quarantine, not 5. We're still pretty much under COVID protocols restrictions a lot, and that is hurting the tourism industry here in Canada. So we'll see if the Transport Minister and the government do anything about it now that all these changes are happening in the United States and not here in Canada. We usually follow suit. It just takes us a little longer. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.